On this Therapeutic Thursday, it is great to have in John Norris with Rivendell Behavioral Health Services of Arkansas joining us to talk more about a topic I think we need to talk more about, and that is persistent and prolonged grief and ways to get help. John, it is good to see you again.
Great, thanks for having us.
This is, I think, an important topic and
Yes,
one
sir.
we don't really talk about near enough. So let's define what we're talking about when we're talking about prolonged grief, when we lose a spouse or a family member and the grief just doesn't go away.
Well, you know, losing a loved one is one of life's most difficult things that we all have to do. Everyone grieves at a different intensity and pace, and so people in bereavement may show signs of prolonged or complicated grief. And it is intense and debilitating, and it lasts beyond 12 months, right? So it has to be beyond a year. It needs to be disrupting, you know, daily activities. Some people face obstacles in healing and have a difficulty, you know, getting past it, get mired in you know, fear and helplessness and sadness and even anger. And some folks, you know, feel like if they don't keep it at the top of their brain, they may forget them, the memories may fade, and they estimate about 7 to 10% of all folks in bereavement may experience prolonged or complicated grief.
John, you always hear everybody say, well, everybody grieves differently, and I suppose that's true, but once you get past a certain point and you're not going through those stages of grief that we hear about, that's when we really need to say, there may be something bigger going on.
Right. Some of the symptoms that you may experience as an adult, intense sorrow and pain, you know, constant rumination about the deceased, extreme focus of reminders or excessive avoidance of reminders, numbness and detachment, bitterness from your loss, feeling that life holds no meaning, or inability to enjoy life.
So, you know, and again, we're talking about, I think, adults when we're saying some of this stuff, but obviously this extends to children who have lost a parent or even a grandparent.
Absolutely. In children, the symptoms can differ just a little bit. You'll usually see prolonged depression in which the child loses interest in daily activities. They may have a hard time believing that the person is not coming back.
Oh, really?
They may, yes, sir. They may have comments about wanting to join them frequently. Acting much younger, regressing, like maybe a 9 or 10-year-old starts sucking their thumb or doing something more childlike.
Wow.
Focusing on or reliving the details of the death, and then really excessive anxiety concerning family members and loved ones that are still alive, fearing that they're going to die.
Yeah, and that's understandable, certainly, within a child. Okay, so what happens to an adult or a child who doesn't get treated for this? Does it become worse?
Well, in its harshest forms, grief can lead to a variety of psychiatric conditions. In a study involving 206 individuals with prolonged grief, found that 55% of those were diagnosed with major depressive disorder, 48% with PTSD, and 62% with anxiety. And they also, people with complicated grief can have issues with suicidal thoughts. And that range is anywhere from 20 to 50% of everybody who's had prolonged grief has considered suicide. And I think we've touched on this a little bit, but children and adults with prolonged grief will have the previously mentioned symptoms most of the time and most days of the week, right? So you could go past a year and still have one of these or two of these symptoms, but if it's really affecting your daily activities of life is where you need to be most concerned.
We were talking before we came on the air, both of us have lost a parent.
Absolutely.
And there are days where you feel really sad that they're not with us anymore, but that's not the same thing we're talking about.
Correct.
If those symptoms sounded familiar to you or to a loved one, you really should seek treatment. You hear the outcomes are not good. So if they want to seek treatment, what do you need to do?
Just reach out to a loved one, a peer, a mentor, a pastor, your family doctor. Engage in psychotherapy. There's lots of grief groups that you can attend, get a medication evaluation. You know, sometimes just a quick antidepressant can help you get past it. And then, of course, if you're having feelings to kill yourself, you know, dial 911, go to the ER, or call Rivendell.
Yeah, and Rivendell is happy to help. And if you've got questions, too, I know you guys are ready, willing, and able to address any of those as well. John, great topic. I'm glad we had a chance to talk about it.
Thanks for having us.
You will. Good to see y'all back on Channel 7 News right after this.